Guys, this is Jordan with Cashflow AI, and this is going to be the starter series of building a bulletproof bot portfolio with this first video talking about why you need multiple bots. So let's dive in. So most people get caught up in the single bot trap, as most traders do wrong, where they put all of their capital into one bot. And even though the back test looks great or the live trading looks great, this is not a good strategy. Because what happens is the market may change, the bot may stop working, or if you turn it off, you lose the edge. But you keep it on and you keep losing, you're kind of stuck whenever this starts to happen. And so traders tend to fail doing this, and this is why. And so let's take a look at a real example and say you have an iron condor bot. And let's say in January to August 2024, we had relatively low volatility. We were in a pretty range bound market and it was doing really, really good, up 45%. And then when September to October came around, it was down 38% because the VIX started to spike. We saw a lot of crazy moves and the strategy started to break. Now, it doesn't mean this is a bad strategy. No, it just means that during this volatile time, this strategy didn't work as well. And by having one strategy, you're creating one point of failure, right? This is where diversification comes in. Because let's say you had multiple bots and that first iron condor bot in that next time frame, let's say it went down about 15%. Well, if you had another bot that was a momentum bot and that one performed better in those conditions, that one would be up 22%. And then let's say you had a third bot called like a mean reversion bot, and that one was up 8%. Well, now your portfolio is up 5% because you have multiple bots working even when one of them fails. And so when one bot fails, the portfolio is able to keep growing. And why this works so well is because some strategies thrive when others struggle in different market conditions, and markets are always changing. Drawdowns are also going to be smaller because you're diversifying your capital across multiple bots, and you're going to have a much smoother equity curve with more consistent gains, which means you're going to sleep a lot better, right? And so typically you'll find that the more bots you have, the more diversified you are, the smoother the line is going to look in your actual equity curve. Whereas compared to one bot, it's going to be a lot more volatile, a lot bigger drawdowns, and you're just going to get that more smoother curve if you have more bots. And really, there's a simple math behind it. Now, I'm not going to go into this entire equation here, but really portfolio standard deviation is an important concept to learn. But in English, it basically means when strategies aren't perfectly correlated, portfolio risk drops significantly while maintaining similar returns. So basically having more bots is always going to be a better thing for you. Now we have a case study here, so we can look at Jake as a quick example. So Jake had a $100,000 account, started in 2024 with 3 different bots, right? So he had an iron condor bot that worked really well in range bound markets, up 32%. He had a vertical spreads bot that worked really well in trending markets, which was up 48%. And then he had a straddles bot, which worked really well in a high VIX environment, which is up 15%. And so you can see Jake's results on a month-by-month return basis over the course of these last few months. And you can see kind of how even when some bots, like for example, this one named the cash flow bot or this one named volatility bot, didn't do so well in January, well, the other bots performed really well. And so because you have a diversified portfolio, even if one bot doesn't do so hot, like minus 5% a month, you have the other bots in here that can compound it out. And so the portfolio ends up being green every single month because he wasn't just using one bot or two bots, but he had 3 bots that created a very good diversified portfolio for him to have these nice smooth returns. And so Jake's big picture results are really simple, right? Using an individual bot, yeah, he may have gotten 15, possibly more at 48%, but he was able to get a 33% on the year because of smooth and consistent returns having this diversified portfolio. And the biggest thing is the drawdown. He only saw a 4.2% drawdown versus a 15% drawdown with a single bot average. And again, as we saw, having 6 beautiful months in a row because of that multiple bots that he's been running at the same time. And so really what made Jake's portfolio work is that he had different strategies, smart allocation, and the discipline to hold, right? Each bot that was trading had different conditions. One of them worked really well in low volatility. The other one worked really well in trending. The other one worked really well with directional or neutral, right? And because he diversified his portfolio, he will put some of his capital into one bot, some of his capital into another, and a smaller portfolio into his third, diversifying all of his portfolio to reduce risk. And because he had multiple bots that he had confidence would work throughout these different market conditions. It allowed him to stay the course even when one bot had a bad month, which allowed him to trust the system, which is the most important part. Now, avoiding single points of failure is super important because if you have one simple strategy, it's extremely risky. And if it fails, everything fails. You're going to have a huge drawdown. It's going to be a lot of risk. And it's simply not going to be a fun time. But by building an anti-fragile bot portfolio, or something we call bulletproof, you can have multiple strategies supporting each other. So when one struggles, the other is able to compensate. And that's really it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy and hope you see you in the next video.